Hello, fourth grade, Mrs. Snyder. Excited to be here with you today. In our music lesson for today, we're going to be talking about form. And remember, when we're talking about form in music, we're basically just wanting to know what is the order of the song. And most songs can be broken down into different sections. Now, when we label those sections, what do we use? What are we needing? Do you remember from maybe second or third grade when we talked about form? We're using capital letters, of course. Now, there are other forms such as verse and refrain where obviously we're using words, but songs that have more sections, we typically use capital letters to identify them. Now, a couple things to remember when we're using the letters for form. So again, we're using capital letters and we're always going in alphabetical order. So the first section of any song is always going to be letter A because that's the first letter in the alphabet. Now, the next section in the song, if it's the same as A, it would also be letter A. Of course, if it's the same section, it gets the same letter. If the next section would be different than letter A, we would go to the next available letter in the alphabet, which would be letter B, right? In second and third grade, we talked about some shorter forms. We talked about A-B form, which obviously has two sections, the A section, and then a different section, the B section. We also talked about A-B-A form, where we get that A section again after our different B section. Today, we're going to be talking about rondo form. Rondo form. And rondo form is a bit longer. There's actually two versions, a longer version and a shorter version. So we're going to talk about the longer version first. So we're going to listen to a song here together, and I want you to try to identify or guess the form that you're listening to. So I'm going to let you know when the section is changing, and you are going to try to guess or identify, is it the same section I just heard, so it gets the same letter? Or is this a new section, therefore it would get a new letter, right? So the first song that we're going to listen to has 7 sections total. So if you want to grab like a scratch piece of paper, you could kind of jot down what letters you think they are as we're going. Sometimes it's hard to remember all 7 in your brain. So if you want to grab like a little Post-it note or something to kind of jot it down as we're going here. So remember, I'm going to let you know, okay, here's another section. Here's another section. That way you can kind of hear the music changing. Remember, we have to go in alphabetical order. So for example, you would never have a form like A, C, A, because we haven't used the letter B yet, right? So every time you hear a new section, you have to use the next letter in order of the alphabet. And I think once we listen to this first example, it'll make sense and it'll be easy for you to identify. So go ahead and grab your pencil, grab your scratch paper. Here we go. We're actually going to listen to this song twice. The first time I'm going to have the recording on me so that you can kind of hear as I tell you when to change sections. This is also going to be in the bottom, in the description, one of the links. After we do it together, I'm going to have you go back and listen to it yourself and see if you can identify when the sections are changing. So the first time through, I'm just going to keep it on me as we do this together. The song we're listening to today is called Viennese Musical Clock. And remember, there's 7 sections. You can already write the first section down now. You know that it has to be letter A, right? Because it's the first section. So as we listen, I want you to pay close attention to this section so that way you can identify the next one. Is it the same as this or is it different? If it's the same, it would get letter A again. If it's different, it's going to be letter B, right? Because that's the next letter in our alphabet. So here we go. So this is our A section. We want to remember this to see if it comes back. This would be section 2. Does it sound exactly the same as A, or is this different? Here's section 3. Have we heard this before? Here's section 4. Here's section 5. I feel like we've heard this a couple times already. And section 6. And our last section, number 7. So you should either have 7 letters written down on a scratch piece of paper, or if you are trying to remember, all 7 letters for our rondo form. And the correct form is A, B, A, C, A, D, A. Congratulations if that's what you had written on your paper, or those were the letters that you were thinking. Take a second and look at the letters in our rondo form. What do you notice about those letters? That's right. Every other letter is A, meaning we return to the A section after hearing something different. So in this case, we have 4 A sections in our longer rondo form. Those 4 A's are separated by 3 different sections, B, C, and D. At this time, you're going to pause this video and click link number 1 in the description. You're going to listen to Viennese Musical Clock on your own and see if you can identify the 7 sections in our rondo form. If you're having trouble, don't worry. In just a second, we're going to do it together. If you were struggling to identify the form when you listened by yourself, that's okay. We're going to review this song one last time together, and you're going to be able to see the letters pop up as the sections are changing, and I'm going to kind of walk you through it. One last time for Viennese Musical Clock. Here we go. So this is our A section, A. And now we're in the B section. This is a different melody than A. We're back to the A section. It's a little bit quieter, and the oboe has the melody this time instead of the flute. Here's another new section, C. And we're back to our A section. The flute has the melody again. It's a little bit quieter, but it's still A. Now we're into another new section. This would be the D section. And we're ending with our A section one more time. The trumpets have the melody now, nice and loud. At the beginning of the video, if you remember, I said that there are two different types of rondo form. We have the longer form that we just saw in Viennese musical clock, A-B-A-C-A-D-A. There's also a shorter version that's only 5 letters long. So in just a second, we're gonna look at a song that is the shorter version of rondo, which is only 5 letters. Now, the most important thing about rondo form is that every other letter is section A. We always see that A part repeating. So it's not super crucial if the rondo form has 5 letters or 7 letters. The main focus or the most important thing about rondo form is that every other section is letter A. At this point, you're going to pause this video and click on link number 2 in the description. We're going to listen to a song with the shorter version of rondo form, and it only has 5 letters. See if you can figure out what the 5 letters are for this piece. You should have just finished listening to Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is one of the theme songs from the Indiana Jones movies. And hopefully you were able to figure out the 5 letters for the shorter version of rondo form. The letters that you should have had were A, B, A, C, and A, which, if you notice, is almost exactly the same as the longer version. We just left off the last 2 sections. So in the shorter version of rondo form, there is no D and A sections at the very end. If you listen to Raiders of the Lost Ark and you didn't get those letters, click on link number 3 in the description. This is the same song played again, but each letter flashes on the screen so you can see the letter as the section is changing. Right, 4th grade, I had such a good time talking to you about rondo form today. I hope you enjoyed the listening examples. If you would like to listen to more examples of rondo form, check out the other links in the description, links number 4 and 5. There's some more examples of rondo form. So one of the examples is the longer version, the A-B-C-A-D-A. And then there's another example of the shorter form, A-B-A-C-A. And remember, rondo form, the most important thing is that every other section is letter A. I hope you enjoyed rondo, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, 4th grade.